Hey guys, happy Wednesday and happy Valentine's Day. I hope everybody is having a great day today. And if you do celebrate, then I hope you're enjoying time with your loved ones. I wanted to get on really quickly because it is Valentine's Day and because I'm going to share a little bit about my story that relates to love. And I'm sitting out in my back patio here. I'm down in Florida, and we're having a little bit of chilly weather, but not like some other people. It's nice enough for me to sit out here. So what I am going to give today is some resources that I have used to help when I was struggling in my relationship. And I'm also going to share my story because I think it relates to, when you want something in your life to change, when you feel like you start to blame other people or external things on why things in your life are not changing, and how you have the actual power to change anything that you want. And I think that when you can make that mindset shift, you can conquer anything, you can create anything, you can do anything, and you can achieve any goals or dreams that you want. But it starts from within, knowing where you need to take a step back and evaluate yourself, knowing that you do need to probably change things and not do everything the same if it's not working, and learning how to get uncomfortable. So before we get started, if you haven't been following me, I'm Leanne, and I am part of a premium wine tasting club, and I teach women how to build a business online by sharing wine. So if you are watching the replay, go ahead and drop #replay in the comments. And like I said, this topic is going to be for you if you are in a relationship and maybe it's gone in stagnant. Maybe you stop doing the little things. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you are at a point where you're trying to evaluate, you're not quite sure the direction where your relationship is going. Maybe you've come to a point where now you're only focusing on your significant other's flaws rather than the good parts about them and why you fell in love with them. So this might be something that is helpful to you. Now, by all means, I am not a relationship guru. I am not any kind of therapist. I'm just sharing what helped me in our relationship and hopefully could be a resource for you. So I'll share a little bit about our story, and I'll try to make this like the short version. But Jay and I, we met online. And we met on eHarmony, actually, and we always joke about being on those commercials for eHarmony and having our son as a success story. But yeah, we met online and we had an instant connection, and we were having a lot of fun getting to know each other. We were in that honeymoon phase, and then after 8 months of dating, I was pregnant. So it was a surprise for both of us. And there were just a lot of emotions at the time. We were excited, but of course, since it was a surprise, we weren't really prepared for it. We were both in our 30s. I had just turned 30. We both had a profession, so we were prepared in that way, but I guess mentally, since we weren't expecting it, we weren't really prepared in that sense. So we both had emotions, but we didn't really express those to each other. So that was number one. We were not really great with our communication. I tend to be somebody that internalizes my feelings and try to solve things on my own. And he is the same way, actually. So at the time, we just didn't really speak about a lot of the way that we felt, if it was in any kind of negative sense, or the fear of like offending each other in any way. So we found out we were pregnant. Our first obstacle was telling our family. We both come from very conservative families, And long story short, we had a lot of pressure of getting married before our son was here. Luckily, we were both on the same page, and we did not agree with getting married just because that's the right thing to do. We wanted to wait till it was the right time for us. But we did deal with a lot of pressure. Luckily, our families kind of came together and they get along great. And they kind of just let that go for a little bit. And then let's see. So after I had my son, we were both brand new parents. We were just really excited and in the moment. And then reality came in. It was, I have this new baby. I took time off of work. I was used to working. And Jay was actually looking for new jobs. So then when Landon was about 5 months, he got a new job. We bought our first house together. We moved to a city where we didn't have any friends or family. Granted, it wasn't too far from where we were. It's about less than an hour away, but it was still a big change. So we were faced with a ton of adversity really, really quickly. At the same time, we did not live with each other during my pregnancy, so we were learning to live with each other. So we're learning to live with each other. We're brand new parents. Jay has a new job. We bought a house together, and we're in this new city. So it was a ton of change all at once. I even remember my mom asking me, like, are you okay? Because you just went through a ton of change. And I just kind of brushed it off and said, yeah, we're doing great. But reality was that, I was excited. I had this baby, and all these great things were happening for us. But our relationship was really suffering. We weren't communicating. Jay was getting stressed out. I was getting stressed out just because there were just so many changes. And we didn't communicate that with each other. So, unfortunately, my son's first year was not our best year for me and Jay, because we went through a lot, and it was just too much for us to handle at the time, and we were not handling it properly. So the year went on, and I think as time went by, I was just getting more frustrated with him. I was getting to a point where I was wondering if this was going to work out. There were times when we both wanted to give up. We were arguing a lot about little things, like really little things. And I got to a point where I kind of put my wall up. I said, okay, well, if he doesn't care, then I'm not going to care, because that's what I thought how he felt. So that obviously made things worse. So after my son's first birthday was when I was really like, okay, maybe like I need to do something first. Maybe I should take initiative here, because I know that I love Jay. I know that I love my son, and I know I love that us as a family. So I know that if I want to make this work, if I want change in my life, then I'm going to have to evaluate myself. So this is kind of like the start in my journey to my personal growth, really. And I didn't really know who to turn to, what to do, so I did what everyone else does, and I Googled it. And I came across a podcast. It was a marriage podcast. It is called One Extraordinary Marriage, and I would highly recommend that if you are looking for some sort of resource for your relationship. So I started listening to the podcast. I would listen to it while I would work out, and it was kind of eye-opening for me, and I started to realize some of the things that I was doing that would cause our relationship to be the way it is. And I really had to, put my big girl panties on and realize that I'm not perfect. There's things that I need to change, and I had to get uncomfortable, because there were things that they would suggest to do, and I just wasn't used to showing emotions and affection in that way. So I started to change. Now, Jay didn't change instantly overnight, but over time he started to respond differently, and I said, okay, I guess this is really working. And then I really dug deeper, and I read 2 books, which I highly recommend, which is The 5 Love Languages and The Love Dare. The Love Dare is kind of like a challenge. I think it's like 40 days or something like that. I can't say that I did every single dare, but I did quite a bit of them. And if you're not, it might make you a little uncomfortable, but if you want to grow and if you want to change, you have to get uncomfortable. So I just started applying all these things, and it was just eye-opening for me, and I realized that there were so many things that I needed to change about myself. And it wasn't just about my relationship with Jay, but me as a mom, a daughter, sister, a friend. And that's kind of what started me into this journey of my self-growth. And by no means Jay and I have a perfect relationship, but I am so proud of where we are today. We are a lot closer than we were before. We communicate and a lot better. And I'm just glad that, some people, I think in the moment I was like, I can't believe this is happening. But now when I look back at it, I'm so glad that it happened, because especially in such an early phase in our relationship, because now it's just brought us closer. And I'm so thankful for these resources. So with that said, if there's something in your life that you don't like, that you need to change, you have the power to change it. You just have to get in that mindset. And I know that's something that a lot of people tend to struggle with. They think that it's an external force, or they want to blame other people. That's definitely playing the victim card, and I did that for a long time. But if there's something you want to change, it doesn't have to be, within your relationship. Maybe your relationship is great, but anything in your life that you want to change, you have the power to do so. And there's tons of resources out there. So I hope that this was valuable to you. If it was, go ahead and like, comment, or share, or go ahead and tag a friend in the comments that you think would find value in this. All right, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good Valentine's Day. Bye.